Hello, and welcome to our comprehensive guide on how to decorate your apartment like a New Yorker. Over the next 15 chapters, we're going to embark on a journey together, transforming your space, no matter where you live, into a home that embodies the iconic, resourceful, and deeply personal style of New York City living. Before we dive into furniture placement, color palettes, or clever storage hacks, we need to start at the very beginning, the absolute foundation. And that foundation isn't a physical object you can buy. It's a mindset. Decorating like a New Yorker is less about following rigid rules and more about embracing a philosophy, a way of looking at your home and your life within it. Think about the images of New York apartments you've seen in movies and on television. They're rarely vast, sprawling mansions. Instead, they are spaces brimming with character, personality, and a sense of history. They feel lived in, curated, and authentic. The secret isn't a huge budget or an enormous floor plan. The secret is that a true New Yorker's apartment tells a story. It tells the story of the building it's in, and more importantly, it tells the story of the person who lives there. So, for our first chapter, we are going to focus entirely on cultivating this mindset. This is the crucial first step before you even think about picking up a paintbrush or browsing online furniture stores. First, let's address the elephant in the room, space. Or, more accurately, the lack of it. New York is a city of constraints. Apartments are famously small, layouts can be awkward, and storage is often a luxury. But here's the core principle of the New York design mindset. Limitations are not limitations. They are creative opportunities. That tiny footprint forces you to be intentional. That weird, seemingly useless nook is a chance to create a unique focal point. The lack of closet space is an invitation to invent brilliant, stylish storage solutions that become part of the decor itself. A New Yorker doesn't look at a small studio apartment and see a problem. They see a canvas for ingenuity. So, the first shift you need to make is to stop seeing what your apartment lacks and start seeing the potential in what it has. The second part of this mindset is understanding your apartment's own story. Most New York apartments, especially the coveted ones, are in older buildings. They have what real estate agents call character. This could be exposed brick walls, original hardwood floors with a few scuffs and scratches, a vintage fireplace that no longer works, or beautifully detailed crown molding. A common mistake people make when decorating is trying to erase this character, to cover up the old and make everything look brand new and sterile. A New Yorker does the opposite. They celebrate the imperfections. That exposed brick isn't something to be drywalled over, it's the textural heart of the room. Those slightly uneven floors aren't a flaw, they're a testament to the building's history. Your first assignment, therefore, is to become a detective in your own home. Walk through your apartment slowly. Take notes. What are its bones? What are the unique architectural details, no matter how small? Do you have high ceilings? Large, interesting windows? A quirky layout? Don't judge these features as good or bad. Simply observe them. Learn the inherent story of your space before you try to impose your own. The goal is to work with the apartment's character, not against it. This harmony between the resident and the residence is what creates that authentic, layered look we associate with New York style. Now, let's turn from the apartment story to your story. This is perhaps the most important element of all. A New York apartment is a deeply personal sanctuary. In a city that is loud, crowded, and constantly demanding your energy, your home is your retreat. It should be a reflection of you, your passions, your history, and your aspirations. This means rejecting the idea of a showroom home, where everything matches perfectly and looks like it was lifted from a single page of a catalog. That's not New York. New York is eclectic. It's a mix. It's that beautiful armchair you inherited from your grandmother, sitting next to a sleek, modern lamp you found on sale. It's the stack of art books on the floor because you ran out of shelf space, next to a framed poster from your favorite concert. So, before you plan your decor, you need to take stock of your life. Ask yourself some fundamental questions. What do you love? What objects do you own that hold meaning for you? It could be a collection of mugs from your travels, a piece of art you bought on a whim, a worn-out copy of your favorite book, or a photograph that makes you smile. These are not clutter. These are the building blocks of your home's personality. Think also about how you live. Are you a homebody who loves to curl up with a good book? Then a comfortable, inviting reading corner is a non-negotiable priority. Do you love to entertain, even in a small space? Then your layout should prioritize flexible seating and a good flow. Do you work from home? Then carving out a dedicated, inspiring workspace is essential for your well-being. Your apartment should be designed to support your real life, not an imaginary, perfect life. The function of your space is just as important as its form. This practicality, this blend of style and substance, is the very definition of the New York approach. It's about creating a home that not only looks good, but also works hard for you. Finally, the New York mindset involves a concept we'll call the art of the edit. Because space is limited and personality is paramount, every single object in your apartment needs to earn its place. This doesn't necessarily mean minimalism. You can have a very full, maximalist apartment that still feels perfectly curated. The key is that everything within it serves a purpose. That purpose can be functional, like a multi-purpose coffee table that also offers storage. Or that purpose can be purely emotional, like a beautiful vase that brings you joy every time you look at it, even if it's often empty. The editing process is about being a ruthless curator of your own life. It means letting go of things that you don't use, don't love, or that don't fit into the story you want your home to tell. It's about choosing quality over quantity whenever possible. A New Yorker would rather have one fantastic, comfortable sofa that will last for years than a cheap, trendy set of furniture that will fall apart in a year. This is the buy once, cry once philosophy. Invest in the key pieces that you will use and love every single day. So, to recap our first chapter, the New York decorating mindset is built on 3 pillars. First, viewing constraints as creative opportunities. Second, understanding and celebrating the story of your physical space while weaving in the story of your own life. And third, mastering the art of the edit, ensuring that every item in your home is either useful or beautiful, and preferably both. In our next chapter, we will take these foundational ideas and begin to apply them, starting with the most critical challenge in any small space: mastering the floor plan and creating distinct zones for living, even in a single room. For now, your task is simple. Don't buy anything. Don't even move anything. Just look, listen, and think. Get to know your apartment. Get to know yourself within it. Because building a home that feels like a true reflection of you is the first and most important step to decorating like a true New Yorker. Welcome back. In our first chapter, we established the foundational New York mindset, viewing your apartment not just as a collection of walls, but as a canvas for your personal story. We talked about embracing constraints, celebrating character, and editing your possessions with intention. Now, it's time to take that mindset and get practical. It's time to talk about the floor plan. This is where the magic really begins. In a city where a single room often has to serve as a living room, dining room, bedroom, and office, the ability to create distinct, functional zones is not a luxury. It's the ultimate survival skill. This chapter is all about the art of zoning, how to divide your space without building walls, creating a home that feels organized, spacious, and intuitive. Before you move a single piece of furniture, your first step is to measure everything. And I mean everything. Get a tape measure and write down the dimensions of your main room or rooms. Measure the length and width of each wall. Note the placement and size of windows and doors. Sketch a simple, rough floor plan on a piece of paper. This might seem tedious, but this map is your single most powerful tool. Working without measurements is like trying to navigate a new city without a map. You'll eventually get somewhere, but it will be a frustrating journey. Once you have your map, the next step is to define your needs. Refer back to the questions we asked in Chapter 1. How do you need this space to function? Be realistic and specific. Don't just write, living area. Write down the actual activities: a place to watch TV with 1 or 2 friends, a comfortable spot for reading, a surface for eating dinner, a dedicated desk for working and paying bills, and a calm, separate feeling area for sleeping. Your list of activities will become your list of essential zones. Now, with your map and your list, we can start zoning. The most common mistake people make is pushing all their furniture against the walls. It feels like the logical way to create more open space in the middle, but it often has the opposite effect, creating a strange, unused void that feels more like a waiting room than a living room. Instead, we are going to use furniture and decor to create rooms within a room. The single most effective tool for this is the area rug. A rug works like a visual anchor. It physically and psychologically defines a space. Placing a rug in the center of your seating arrangement instantly creates a designated living room. All of a sudden, the sofa, the coffee table, and the armchair are no longer just floating objects. They are a cohesive, intentional group. Here's a crucial New York tip for rugs. Go bigger than you think you need. A small rug that only sits under the coffee table will actually make your room look smaller. The ideal size allows for at least the front legs of your sofa and any chairs to rest comfortably on it. This connects the furniture pieces and makes the entire zone feel more generous and well-planned. You can use another, different rug, perhaps a small circular one, to define a reading nook in a corner, or a durable runner to create a clear entryway. Our second powerful zoning tool is the strategic placement of furniture itself. Your furniture can act as a natural divider. The most classic example in a New York studio is using the back of your sofa to separate the living area from the sleeping area. Instead of pushing the sofa against a wall, float it in the middle of the room. This move alone can create a powerful sense of separation. Behind the sofa, you can place a slim console table. This not only hides the boring back of the sofa but also creates a perfect drop zone for keys, mail, or a beautiful lamp, further defining the boundary between the two spaces. Another quintessential New York piece for this purpose is an open-backed bookshelf. Think of something like an IKEA Kallax shelf, which is practically standard issue in many city apartments. Placed perpendicular to a wall, it creates a very clear division of space, but because it's open, it doesn't block light or sightlines completely. This allows the apartment to still feel airy and connected, while providing both storage and separation. You can use it to partition off a small office area or your bed, giving you a vital sense of privacy. Third, let's talk about lighting. Never underestimate the power of light to create zones and set a mood. Relying on a single harsh overhead light is a recipe for a flat, uninviting space. Instead, think in layers. Each zone you've defined should have its own dedicated light source. Hang a stylish pendant light low over your small dining table to create an intimate dining room. Place an elegant floor lamp next to an armchair to designate it as your official reading nook. Use focused task lighting, like a desk lamp, for your workspace. These separate pools of light create ambience and signal to your brain that each area has a distinct purpose, making the entire apartment feel more dynamic and much larger than it actually is. As you place these zones, you must also consider flow. Traffic flow is the invisible path you walk through your apartment. You need to ensure there are clear, unobstructed lanes to get from the doorway to the kitchen, from the sofa to the bedroom, from the desk to the bathroom. As you arrange your furniture, physically walk these paths. Do you have to squeeze past the coffee table? Do you bump into a chair on your way to the kitchen? If so, you need to adjust. A good layout feels effortless to move through. A clear path of about 30 to 36 inches is a good rule of thumb for major walkways. Let's walk through a quick example. Imagine a simple rectangular studio apartment. The door is on one short wall, the kitchen is along one long wall, and the windows are on the opposite short wall. How do we zone it? First, we decide the sleeping area should be furthest from the door for privacy, near the windows. We can place the bed against the corner wall. Then, we can place a tall, open bookshelf parallel to the bed, about 3 feet away, to create a visual wall. Next, we create the living zone in the middle of the apartment. We'll float the sofa with its back to the bookshelf, facing the rest of the room. We place a large area rug down, making sure the front legs of the sofa are on it. We add a coffee table and maybe a small armchair facing the sofa. This area is now clearly defined. The space between the living zone and the kitchen now naturally becomes the dining or flexible space. A small, round table with 2 chairs can fit here perfectly, anchored by a beautiful pendant light hanging above it. And finally, the space right by the entrance becomes the entryway, defined by a narrow console table against the wall and a small runner on the floor. In this simple layout, we've created 4 distinct zones: sleeping, living, dining, and entry, all without a single wall. The space now has purpose, flow, and a story. In our next chapter, we're going to dive deeper into the furniture itself, specifically the secret weapon of every New Yorker: multifunctional pieces that work twice as hard to save you space and add style. For now, your assignment is to take out that floor plan you drew. Start sketching. Play with different layouts. Where will your zones be? What will be your primary anchor pieces? Think like a city planner, designing the layout of your own personal metropolis. This is how you take control of your space and truly begin to make it your own. Hello and welcome back. In our journey so far, we've cultivated the essential New York mindset in Chapter 1 and mapped out our physical space using the art of zoning in Chapter 2. We've created a solid foundation and a functional layout. Now, we get to the really fun part: populating that layout with furniture. But this isn't just about finding pieces that look good. In a New York apartment, every square inch is precious real estate. Your furniture cannot afford to be lazy. Each piece must earn its keep. This brings us to the ultimate secret weapon in any small space arsenal: multifunctional furniture. These are the clever, versatile, hard-working heroes of city living, and mastering their use is what separates an amateur decorator from a seasoned New Yorker. The philosophy is simple. In a compact home, you don't have the luxury of single-use items. You don't have a separate guest room, a formal dining room, or a home office with a door you can close. Your living room is also your office. Your dining area might also be your workspace. Your sofa is occasionally the guest bed. Therefore, your furniture must be as adaptable and flexible as your lifestyle. It's about choosing smart, transformative pieces that can change their function at a moment's notice. Let's break down the essential multifunctional pieces, zone by zone. First, let's tackle the heart of the apartment, the living zone. The single most iconic piece of multifunctional furniture is, without a doubt, the sleeper sofa. If you have any intention of hosting an overnight guest, this is a non-negotiable. Now, forget the lumpy, back-breaking pull-out couches of the past. Modern sofa beds have come a long way, offering incredible comfort both for sitting and sleeping. Look for models with memory foam mattresses or easy-to-use convertible mechanisms. A close cousin to the sleeper sofa is the daybed, a stylish and versatile piece that acts as a deep, comfortable sofa by day and a twin bed by night, often with a trundle underneath for a second guest or massive drawers for storage. The next hero of the living zone is the storage ottoman. This is quite possibly the most underrated piece of furniture ever. It is a true chameleon. On any given day, it can be a comfortable footrest, a coffee table, just add a stylish tray on top to create a stable surface for drinks, or extra seating when you have guests over. And its biggest trick: the top lifts off to reveal a hollow interior, providing the perfect hidden spot to stash away blankets, magazines, board games, or remote controls. It's a clutter buster and a style statement all in one. As an alternative to a bulky coffee table, consider nesting tables. These are sets of 2 or 3 tables of varying sizes that are designed to tuck neatly into one another. You can keep them nested to save space for everyday use, and then spread them out around the room when friends come over, ensuring everyone has a convenient place to set down a drink. Now let's move to the dining zone. An enormous dining table that seats 8 is a fantasy for most city dwellers. The reality is a clever, adaptable solution. The gold standard here is the drop leaf or extendable table. These tables have hinged sections that can be folded down to create a slim console table that sits neatly against a wall. When you need it, you can lift one or both leaves to create a dining surface for 2, 4, or even 6 people. It's the epitome of there when you need it, gone when you don't. For seating, think beyond traditional dining chairs. A dining bench is a fantastic space saver. It can seat more people than individual chairs in the same footprint, and it can be tucked completely under the table when not in use, clearing up valuable floor space. And don't forget stackable stools. They can serve as dining seating, a side table for a plant, or a step stool to reach your highest shelves. Next, the sleeping zone. Your bed takes up the most significant amount of floor space in your apartment, so it absolutely has to work for its living. This is where the storage bed comes in. A bed frame with large, built-in drawers underneath is a complete game changer. It can often entirely eliminate the need for a separate, bulky dresser, freeing up an entire wall for something else. If a full storage bed isn't in your budget, you can achieve a similar effect with low-profile rolling boxes designed to fit under a standard bed frame. Also consider your headboard. Instead of a purely decorative one, look for headboards that incorporate storage. Many designs feature built-in shelving, nooks, or even small cabinets, effectively replacing the need for 2 nightstands. This is a brilliant way to claim back precious inches on either side of your bed. Finally, think about your flexible zones, like your entryway or work-from-home nook. If you need a dedicated workspace but don't have a separate room, the secretary desk is a vintage solution that is more relevant than ever. This beautiful piece looks like a slim cabinet or chest of drawers, but a panel folds down to create a spacious desk surface, with plenty of nooks and crannies to organize your work essentials. When your workday is over, you simply fold it up, and all the clutter magically disappears. For a more modern take, wall-mounted floating desks work on the same principle, folding up against the wall to become an unobtrusive shelf. The core lesson here is to always be asking, what else can this do for me? Before you buy any piece of furniture, challenge yourself to find at least one additional function it can serve. That armchair, could it have a small storage compartment under the seat? That floor mirror, could it have hidden hooks on the back for scarves and bags? This resourceful way of thinking is the key to creating a home that is not only stylish, but incredibly efficient and livable. In our next chapter, we're going to build on this idea of maximizing our space by taking our eyes off the floor plan and looking up. We'll explore the most overlooked dimension in apartment decorating, vertical space. For now, start looking at your existing furniture with new eyes. Is your coffee table just a coffee table? Could it be replaced by something that offers storage? Is your bed frame just a frame? Start making a list of the pieces in your home that are only doing one job, and begin to dream about the hard-working replacements that could transform your space. Welcome back. In our previous chapters, we've laid the essential groundwork for our New York-style apartment. We've adopted the right mindset, we've intelligently zoned our floor plan, and we've chosen hard-working, multifunctional furniture. We have effectively mastered the 2 dimensions of our space, its length and its width. But now, we're going to unlock the most frequently overlooked and undervalued asset in any small apartment, the 3rd dimension. We're going to look up. This chapter is all about maximizing your vertical space. When you live in a place where every square foot is a precious commodity, you simply cannot afford to ignore the vast, untapped potential of your walls. Learning to think vertically is the single biggest step you can take to make a small room feel larger, more organized, and infinitely more interesting. It's about drawing the eye upward, creating an illusion of height and grandeur, and claiming valuable storage real estate you never knew you had. Let's start with the psychology behind it. When you walk into a room where all the furniture and decor is low to the ground, your eyes stop at the midpoint of the wall. This subconsciously registers the ceiling as being lower than it is, making the space feel contained and sometimes even cramped. But when you introduce elements that guide the eye all the way from the floor to the ceiling, you force a new perspective. The room suddenly feels more airy, more open, and more expansive. You're not just decorating a floor, you're composing an entire volume of space. So, how do we do it? Let's explore the most powerful strategies for claiming your vertical territory. The most fundamental tool in your vertical arsenal is shelving. And when I say shelving, I mean thinking beyond a single, lonely bookshelf. The quintessential New York approach is floor-to-ceiling shelving. This could be a built-in unit or a series of tall, modular bookcases arranged together. A wall of books, objects, and personal treasures doesn't just provide an incredible amount of storage, it becomes a powerful architectural feature. It adds depth, texture, and a profound sense of personality to a room, creating a library-like focal point that is both sophisticated and deeply personal. If a full wall of shelving feels too imposing or isn't in the budget, your next best friend is the floating shelf. These minimalist shelves are incredibly versatile. You can arrange them in a neat, symmetrical stack above a desk to create an office zone. You can stagger them up a wall to create a dynamic display for plants and decorative objects. In a kitchen with limited cabinets, a few long floating shelves can serve as a beautiful and practical open pantry for dishes and glassware. The key is to see your empty wall space not as a void, but as a blank canvas for a custom storage solution. For displaying art and photos, consider picture ledges. These are very slim shelves with a small lip on the front. They allow you to lean frames against the wall instead of hanging them. This gives you incredible flexibility to change and rearrange your display whenever you want, without putting a million new holes in the wall. A series of 3 or 4 picture ledges stacked vertically can turn a boring wall into a personal, evolving gallery. Our next strategy is to get as much as possible off the floor entirely. We touched on wall-mounted desks in our last chapter, but let's re-emphasize the visual benefit. A desk that floats off the ground, or a nightstand that is mounted to the wall, creates uninterrupted floor space underneath. This visual continuity makes the room feel cleaner, lighter, and easier to navigate. The same principle applies to your television. Mounting a flat-screen TV on the wall eliminates the need for a bulky media console, freeing up that floor space for a slimmer, more stylish credenza, or even nothing at all. Lighting can also go vertical. Instead of a floor lamp or a table lamp that takes up surface area, consider wall-mounted sconces. Placed on either side of a bed, they create a chic, hotel-like symmetry and free up your entire nightstand. A swing-arm sconce above a favorite reading chair provides focused light without cluttering the floor. When selecting your freestanding furniture, always think tall and narrow over short and wide. A tall boy dresser, for example, offers the same amount of storage as a long, low dresser, but on a much smaller footprint. This not only saves floor space but also naturally draws the eye upward, contributing to that feeling of height and openness. Don't forget the power of art and mirrors. A single, small piece of art hung in the middle of a large, blank wall can look lost and actually emphasize the emptiness of the space. Instead, think bigger. Create a salon-style gallery wall, where you group many different-sized pieces of art together, extending the collection high up the wall, well above eye level. This turns the entire wall into a single, cohesive work of art and is a fantastic vertical element. Similarly, a tall, lean floor mirror propped against a wall is a classic designer trick. Not only does it bounce light around and create an illusion of depth, but its strong vertical shape immediately makes the ceiling feel higher. Finally, let's talk about one of the easiest and most impactful vertical tricks of all: how you hang your curtains. Most people hang the curtain rod right on the window frame. This is a missed opportunity. To create the illusion of taller windows and higher ceilings, you need to use the high and wide method. Mount your curtain rod as close to the ceiling as you possibly can, at least 4 to 6 inches above the window frame. Then, make sure the rod is wide enough so that when the curtains are open, the fabric stacks against the wall, not over the glass. And always make sure your curtains are long enough to skim the floor. Curtains that are too short look awkward and visually chop the wall in half. This single adjustment can dramatically transform a room, making it feel instantly more elegant and grand. A quick but important note on safety. Whenever you are using tall furniture like bookshelves or mounting heavy items to the wall, please make sure you anchor them securely according to the manufacturer's instructions. In our next chapter, now that we've mastered our layout and claimed our vertical space, we'll learn how to wield the powerful tools of light and color to make our home feel even bigger, brighter, and more personal. Your assignment for this chapter is to conduct a vertical audit of your apartment. Walk through each room and identify all the unused wall space. Where could a set of floating shelves go? Could your curtains be hung higher? Is there a wall that is begging for a floor-to-ceiling gallery? Start seeing the potential not just in front of you, but above you. Hello, and welcome back. We have officially built the bones of our New York-style apartment. We've established a mindset, designed a functional layout, selected hard-working furniture, and claimed our vertical space. Our home now has a solid, intelligent structure. But a structure is not yet a home. In this chapter, we're going to perform a kind of alchemy. We're going to breathe life, mood, and atmosphere into our space using the two most powerful and transformative tools in any decorator's toolkit, light and color. Mastering these two elements is what elevates a space from merely functional to truly magical. Proper use of light and color can make the smallest, darkest apartment feel bright, airy, and expansive. It's how you create a feeling, whether that's calm and serene, or dramatic and cozy. Let's begin with the most precious resource of all, light. First and foremost, you must become a champion of natural light. It is a free, life-giving asset that no artificial bulb can truly replicate. Your primary job is to get out of its way. Many people inadvertently block their own sunlight with heavy, dark, or improperly hung window treatments. The New York approach is to keep it light and simple. Opt for window coverings that diffuse light rather than block it. Sheer linen curtains are a perfect choice, as they provide privacy while still allowing a soft glow to filter through. Translucent roller shades or light-colored blinds are also excellent options. And remember the high and wide trick from our last chapter? Hanging these light fabrics high and wide will not only make your ceiling feel taller, but will also maximize the amount of glass that's exposed, letting every possible sunbeam into the room. If you live in a location where privacy isn't a major concern, don't be afraid to leave a window completely bare. It's a confident, minimalist statement. Your next move in mastering natural light is to use mirrors strategically. A mirror is essentially a magic trick for a small apartment. When placed correctly, it can visually double your space and your light. The most effective placement is on the wall directly opposite your main window. This will capture the incoming light and reflect it right back into the room, creating an effect that's almost like having a second window. Don't just think of a standard wall mirror. A tall floor mirror leaning against a wall adds a casual, artistic touch. Furniture with mirrored surfaces, like a credenza or a side table, can have a similar, albeit more subtle, brightening effect. Of course, natural light fades, and that's where a sophisticated artificial lighting plan comes in. A single glaring overhead light, what designers often call a ceiling nipple, is the #1 enemy of good ambience. To create a warm, inviting, and functional space, you must layer your lighting. Think of it in 3 distinct layers. The first is ambient light, which is the overall illumination for the room. This can come from a stylish central ceiling fixture, like a beautiful semi-flush mount or a modern chandelier, or even track lighting that you can direct where you need it. The second, and perhaps most important layer, is task lighting. This is focused light for specific activities. A reading lamp next to your favorite armchair, under-cabinet LED strips in your kitchen to illuminate your countertops, and a chic desk lamp for your workspace all fall into this category. Task lighting makes your home more functional and creates cozy, intimate pools of light. The third layer is accent lighting. This is the jewelry of your lighting scheme. It's used to highlight the things you love. A picture light mounted over a favorite piece of art, a small uplight placed on the floor behind a large plant to create dramatic shadows, or puck lights inside a bookshelf to showcase your collections. The secret to making these layers work together is to put everything on a dimmer switch. Dimmers are an inexpensive upgrade that gives you complete control over the mood of your room. You can have the lights bright and energetic when you're working, and then dim them down to a soft, warm glow for a relaxing evening. And when choosing your light bulbs, opt for a warm white temperature, usually around 2700 kelvins, to create that inviting candlelit feeling that is so much more flattering than harsh, cool light. Now, let's move on to our second alchemical tool, color. There's a common myth that the only way to make a small space look bigger is to paint it stark white. While white can indeed be bright and airy, it can also feel cold, sterile, and frankly, a bit boring. A true New York apartment is bursting with personality, and color is one of the best ways to express it. The key is not to use a riot of competing colors, but to create a cohesive, intentional palette. A great rule to follow is the 60-30-10 rule. 60% of your room should be your dominant color. This is usually your walls. 30% should be your secondary color. found in larger pieces like your sofa, rugs, or curtains. Finally, 10% is your accent color, the little pops of excitement you see in throw pillows, artwork, and small accessories. For the 60%, a light, warm neutral is often the smartest choice for a small space. Think of colors like a soft dove gray, a warm off-white, or a sophisticated grayish. These colors are fantastic at reflecting light and create a perfect, gallery-like backdrop that allows your more colorful furniture and art to truly shine. However, don't be afraid of the dark. In certain small spaces, using a deep, moody color can be a surprisingly effective strategy. This is called the jewel box effect. Painting a tiny entryway, a powder room, or even a single accent wall behind your bed in a dark color like charcoal gray, navy blue, or emerald green can create a sense of drama, intimacy, and luxury. Instead of trying to make the small space look big, you lean into its coziness, making it feel intentional and special. Finally, use your color palette to subtly connect the different zones in your open-plan apartment. That pop of terracotta in a throw pillow on your sofa can be echoed in the color of your kitchen tea towels. The blue from a piece of art in your living area can be picked up by a vase on your bedside table. These small, repeated touches of color create a sense of rhythm and flow, tying the entire apartment together into one cohesive story. Now that we have light and color in place, our apartment has a true atmosphere. In our next chapter, we'll add the final crucial layers that make a space feel soulful and complete: texture, textiles, and the personal touches that tell your unique story. Your assignment is to assess your home's light and color. Where can you add a mirror to amplify the sunlight? Could you add a floor lamp to create a cozy reading corner? And start thinking about your 60-30-10 palette. What is the color story you want your apartment to tell? Hello and welcome back. So far on our decorating journey, we have constructed a beautiful and intelligent framework for our home. We've mastered the floor plan, selected smart furniture, claimed our vertical space, and painted our world with light and color. We have created an apartment that is functional and has a wonderful atmosphere. But now, we arrive at the most personal and, I think, the most important part of the process. In this chapter, we are going to give our space its soul. This is the chapter about the final layers, the elements that you can touch and feel, the objects that tell your story. We're talking about texture, textiles, and the fearless infusion of your own personality. This is what transforms a space from a perfectly arranged showroom into a warm, inviting, and authentic home. This is what makes it uniquely yours. Let's begin with texture. Texture is, quite simply, the way a surface feels, or the way it looks like it would feel. It's the contrast between rough and smooth, shiny and matte, hard and soft. A room composed of only flat, smooth surfaces, like plain drywall, a simple cotton sofa, and a sleek metal coffee table, can feel sterile and one-dimensional, no matter how perfect the layout is. Texture is what adds depth, warmth, and visual interest. It invites you to touch and experience the space. Layering textures is a key skill of any sophisticated decorator. Think about incorporating a wide variety of materials. Bring in natural elements like wood, perhaps a rustic reclaimed wood shelf or a beautiful wooden bowl on your coffee table. Introduce the coolness of stone with marble coasters or a slate cheese burundersker left out on the kitchen counter. The rich, soft feel of a worn leather armchair adds instant history and comfort. And don't shy away from mixing your metals. A matte black floor lamp can coexist beautifully with a small brass decorative object. One of the most vital textures you can introduce is living texture. I'm talking about plants. A New York apartment is not complete without at least a little bit of greenery. Plants add organic shape, vibrant color, and literally breathe life into a room. Whether it's a large, dramatic fiddle leaf fig in a corner or a collection of small succulents on a windowsill, plants make a space feel healthier and more connected to the natural world. The real magic happens when you juxtapose these textures. Imagine a soft, chunky knit wool throw blanket draped over the back of a smooth, sleek leather sofa, or a set of plush velvet throw pillows sitting next to a crisp linen one. It's this combination of contrasting surfaces that makes a room feel rich, complex, and thoughtfully curated. This leads us directly to our next topic: textiles. If furniture and walls are the bones of a room, textiles are what give it a soft, comfortable embrace. They are the soft architecture that dampens sound, adds warmth, and provides an incredible opportunity for color and pattern. The easiest and most impactful textiles to work with are throw pillows. Think of them as the jewelry for your sofa. They are a relatively inexpensive way to completely change the feel of a room. The secret is to mix and match. Don't just buy the matching set that came with your couch. Get pillows in a variety of sizes, shapes, and materials. Combine a large square velvet pillow with a smaller rectangular linen one, and invest in good quality inserts, like down or a down alternative. They are much more comfortable and have that plush, choppable look that always feels more luxurious. Next, every cozy space needs at least one good throw blanket. Draped over the arm of a chair, folded neatly at the foot of your bed, or casually tossed onto the sofa, a throw is a universal invitation to get comfortable. Choose one that feels wonderful to the touch, whether it's a chunky wool knit for winter or a lightweight, gauzy cotton for summer. We've talked about rugs as a tool for zoning, but they are also a primary source of texture. A high pile or shag rug can make a living area feel incredibly plush and cozy underfoot. A natural fiber rug, like jute or sisal, can add an earthy, organic feel. A very chic, layered look popular in New York is to place a smaller, more colorful or patterned rug, like a vintage Persian-style piece, on top of a larger, neutral jute or sisal rug. Finally, we arrive at the most crucial layer, personality. This is the part of decorating where you throw the rules out the window and listen to your heart. This is where you display your life. Your home should be a reflection of who you are, where you've been, and what you love. Start with your walls. Art does not mean an expensive painting from a gallery. Art is what speaks to you. It could be a vintage concert poster for your favorite band, a beautiful photograph you took on vacation, a flea market oil painting of a stranger, or a framed page from a beloved children's book. Creating a gallery wall is the perfect way to display a collection of these personal pieces, mixing different frames and sizes to create a single, impactful statement. Next, embrace your books. In New York, books are decor. They show your interests and add immediate character. Don't hide them away. Stack them horizontally on your shelves to create platforms for small objects. A tall stack on the floor next to an armchair is a classic, intellectual look. Let your coffee table be a home for your most beautiful art and design books. Learn to create vignettes. A vignette is a small, curated grouping of objects on a surface like a coffee table, a bookshelf, or a dresser. Instead of scattering your favorite things around, group them together to tell a little story. Try a stack of 2 books, a beautiful candle in a jar, a small plant, and a personal object like a beautiful rock you found on a beach. This is what's known as curated clutter, and it's the essence of a home that feels both stylish and lived in. Don't hide away your sentimental items. That quirky ceramic dish you inherited from your grandmother, or the wooden mask you bought on your travels are the things that no one else has. These are the pieces that make your home yours. Display them with pride. In our next chapter, we'll take all these principles of layout, color, texture, and personality and apply them to 2 of the most challenging and hard-working spaces in any apartment, the kitchen and the entryway. Your assignment for this chapter is to go on a treasure hunt in your own home. Find those books, photos, and objects that you love but have tucked away. Bring them out. Start playing with creating small vignettes on your surfaces. Add 1 new plant. Treat yourself to 1 beautiful throw pillow in a texture you love. This is how you begin to weave your story into the very fabric of your home. Welcome back. Over the last 6 chapters, we have thoughtfully and intentionally crafted our main living space. It now has a smart layout, hard-working furniture, a sense of height and openness, and is layered with the colors, textures, and personal objects that make it feel like home. But the work isn't done. A truly well-designed apartment feels cohesive, with every single space, no matter how small or utilitarian, given the same level of care. In this chapter, we turn our attention to the 2 hardest working, and often most neglected, spaces in any home, the entryway and the kitchen. In New York, these areas are notoriously compact. The entryway might just be a sliver of wall by the door, and the kitchen a tiny galley. But these spaces are critical. The entryway sets the first and last impression of your home, and the kitchen is the engine room for your daily life. Let's give them the design respect they deserve. First, let's tackle the entryway. Its primary job is function. This is the transition zone between the outside world and your inner sanctuary. It needs to handle the daily clutter of keys, mail, coats, and bags. We must solve this problem first. The key is to create a designated drop zone. If you have the space, a slim console table is the perfect solution. It provides a surface for a bowl to catch your keys and a spot to drop the mail. If you don't have room for a table, don't worry. This is where you apply the lessons from Chapter 4 and go vertical. A single floating shelf mounted on the wall can serve the exact same purpose as a console table, without taking up any floor space. Below it, install a row of stylish wall hooks. Hooks are far more space efficient than a bulky coat tree and encourage everyone to hang things up immediately. Once you have the function handled, define the zone. As we discussed in Chapter 2, a rug is the perfect tool for this. A durable, attractive runner not only protects your floors from tracked-in dirt, but also creates a clear visual boundary, saying, "You are now entering my home." This small gesture makes even a non-existent foyer feel deliberate and welcoming. Finally, Infuse it with personality. Just because it's a practical space doesn't mean it should be boring. Use a tall, lean mirror on the wall. This will bounce light around, make the area feel twice as big, and give you a convenient spot for a final check before you head out the door. Add a single, impactful piece of art above your shelf or hooks. This small space is also the perfect place to experiment with that jewel box color concept we talked about in Chapter 5. Painting that small entry wall a deep, dramatic color can create a stunning first impression. Now, let's move to the kitchen. New York kitchens are legendary for their tiny size, but a small kitchen can still be a joy to cook in if it's hyper-organized and has a dash of style. Your number one priority here is maximizing storage. Again, you must go vertical. If you have any open wall space, install open shelving. Use it to store your everyday dishes, glasses, and bowls. This not only frees up precious cabinet space for less attractive items like pots and pans, but it also adds a beautiful, cafe-like display element to your kitchen. It forces you to be tidy and only keep the dishware you truly use and love. Use your walls for more than just shelves. A wall-mounted magnetic knife strip is a professional-grade solution that gets that bulky knife block off your counter. A metal rail system with S-hooks can hold all your most used utensils. A pegboard is the ultimate modular solution, allowing you to hang everything from pots and pans to scissors and measuring cups. While maximizing storage, you also need to maximize your prep space. The most common complaint about small kitchens is the lack of counter space. The ultimate solution is a rolling kitchen cart. It provides an extra work surface, shelves for storage below, and can be moved out of the way when you don't need it. Some even have a drop leaf to expand the surface even further. If a cart won't fit, invest in a large, beautiful cutting board that can live on your counter. It can cover an unsightly countertop and provides a stable, clean surface for all your prep work. Once your kitchen is ruthlessly organized and functional, it's time to make it beautiful. A functional kitchen does not have to look like a laboratory. Decant your dry goods, like pasta, rice, beans, and coffee, into clear glass jars with attractive labels. This creates a uniform, pantry-like look that is far more pleasing than a jumble of mismatched packaging. Bring in textiles. A soft, washable runner on the floor will make the space feel warmer and will be much more comfortable to stand on while you cook or do dishes. Upgrade your hardware. This is one of the easiest and most impactful DIY projects you can do. Swapping out the generic, builder-grade knobs or pulls on your cabinets for something more stylish, like modern matte black or elegant brass, can instantly make your whole kitchen look more expensive and custom. And finally, add those personal touches we talked about in our last chapter. Prop a small piece of art against the backsplash. Keep your cooking salt in a beautiful ceramic bowl. Place a small lamp with a warm bulb on the counter for a soft glow in the evening when the harsh overhead lights are off. It's these little details that transform a purely functional kitchen into the true heart of your home. We've now tackled our public and semi-public spaces, from the first impression at the door to the heart of the home in the kitchen. In our next chapter, we will turn our attention to creating the ultimate personal sanctuaries, the bedroom and the bathroom. Your assignment this week is to choose one, either your entryway or your kitchen, and give it a mini makeover. Clear the clutter, install one vertical storage solution like a shelf or a set of hooks, and add one element of personality, whether it's a plant, a new rug, or a piece of art. You'll be amazed at how a little bit of attention can transform these hard-working spaces. Hello, and welcome back to our guide. We have journeyed through the public and semi-public zones of our apartment, transforming the living area, kitchen, and entryway into spaces that are functional, stylish, and full of personality. Now, we cross the threshold into the most private and personal parts of our home. We turn our attention to the inner sanctums, the bedroom and the bathroom. In a city that is constantly buzzing with energy, these rooms are more than just functional spaces. They are your essential retreats. They are where you begin and end each day. Their design should be wholly dedicated to comfort, calm, and rejuvenation. This is where we shut the door on the outside world and create a true sanctuary for ourselves. Let's begin with the bedroom. The single, overriding goal of this space is serenity. This is not the room for high-energy colors or a cluttered, busy layout. Every design choice should support rest and relaxation. This means, first and foremost, that clutter is the absolute enemy of calm. A serene bedroom is an organized bedroom. The undeniable focal point of the room is the bed. It should look and feel like an irresistible invitation to relax. This is not a place to skimp. Your number one investment in the bedroom should be high-quality bedding. You can have the most beautiful room in the world, but if your sheets are scratchy, it's a failure. Choose breathable, natural materials like crisp cotton percale or soft, relaxed linen. Then, build your bed in inviting layers. Start with good quality pillows, add a comfortable duvet or quilt, and finish with a soft throw blanket folded at the foot of the bed. A beautifully made bed includes a mix of sleeping pillows and decorative ones, but a New Yorker keeps it practical. 2 to 4 decorative pillows or shams are all you need to create a plush, finished look without creating a nightly chore of removing a mountain of cushions. To maintain that crucial clutter-free environment, smart storage is non-negotiable. As we've discussed, a storage bed with drawers underneath is a hero piece, often eliminating the need for a bulky dresser. If you do need a dresser, remember our vertical principle. Choose a tall, narrow tallboy style over a long, low one to save precious floor space. Your nightstand is your command center for the beginning and end of the day. It doesn't need to be large, but it does need to be functional. It should have just enough space for the essentials: a small lamp, a book, a glass of water, and your phone. If your bedroom is tiny, a simple floating shelf or a wall-mounted ledge works perfectly as a minimalist nightstand, keeping the floor clear and the space feeling open. To create that calm atmosphere, pay close attention to your color and light. A bedroom is the perfect place for a muted, soothing color palette. Think of soft, gentle colors like pale blues, sage greens, warm grays, or other earthy neutrals. These colors are scientifically proven to be more conducive to rest. You can bring in pops of your favorite colors through small accents like a pillow or a piece of art. Lighting, as always, is key. Rely on layered, warm light. The harsh overhead light should rarely be used. Instead, focus on soft bedside lamps or, even better, wall-mounted sconces on either side of the bed. This frees up space on your nightstand and provides perfect, focused light for reading. And make sure everything is on a dimmer. Finally, one of the most practical and crucial elements of a New York bedroom is blackout capability. The city's glow can be disruptive to sleep. Invest in high-quality blackout curtains or a good blackout roller shade. This functional necessity is also a design opportunity to add softness, color, or texture to the room. Now, let's move to the bathroom. Often tiny, windowless, and rental grade, the bathroom presents a unique challenge. The goal is to transform it from a purely utilitarian box into a clean, organized, mini-spa. Once again, ruthless decluttering is your first step. Bathroom counters are magnets for clutter. Be strict about what lives out in the open. Use small trays or boxes to corral the few essential items you need daily, and find a home for everything else. Maximize the storage you have with organizers inside your medicine cabinet and drawers. And, of course, go vertical. The space above your toilet is prime real estate. A slim shelving unit, known as an étagère, is designed to fit perfectly here, providing open storage for neatly folded towels, extra toilet paper in a beautiful basket, and a few decorative items. Simple floating shelves are another excellent option. And don't forget the back of the door. An over-the-door rack is perfect for hanging damp towels or your bathrobe. The fastest way to elevate a basic bathroom is with luxurious textiles. This is how you get that spa-like feeling. Invest in a set of plush, fluffy towels that are all the same color. Crisp white is a classic spa look, but a soft gray or navy can also be very chic. A high-quality, absorbent bath mat feels wonderful underfoot. Most importantly, upgrade your shower curtain. It's the largest piece of fabric in the room and acts like a giant piece of art. Ditch the cheap plastic liner and choose a beautiful fabric shower curtain, a waffle weave for texture, or a simple, elegant pattern. Finally, add those small touches of personality and luxury. Replace the generic plastic soap dispenser with a beautiful ceramic or glass one. Get a matching toothbrush holder. Decant your hand soap and lotion into uniform, attractive bottles. Add life with a small, humidity-loving plant like a snake plant or an ivy. And don't forget that scent is a powerful part of the atmosphere. A beautiful candle or an essential oil diffuser can complete the transformation, turning your routine trip to the bathroom into a small, restorative moment. Now that every room in our apartment has a plan, from the entryway to the bedroom, we need to address a major reality of New York living: the rental agreement. In our next chapter, we'll explore the world of renter-friendly upgrades, high-impact, low-risk changes you can make to personalize your space without losing your security deposit. Your assignment this week is to focus on creating your sanctuary. Start with your bed. Make it beautifully with layers. Then, tackle your bathroom counter. Clear everything off, give it a deep clean, and put back only the beautiful essentials. Experience how these small acts of order and care can bring a new sense of calm to your home. Hello and welcome back. We have meticulously planned every room in our apartment, from the public-facing entryway to the private sanctuary of the bedroom. We have a cohesive vision. But now, we must face a reality that governs the life of nearly every New Yorker: the rental agreement. That lease, with its clauses about not painting, not drilling holes, and returning the apartment to its original condition, can feel like a creative straitjacket. But I'm here to tell you that a rental lease is not a sentence to live in a boring, beige box. It is simply a creative challenge. The true New York decorating mindset, born of resourcefulness, is about finding clever ways to make a huge impact without leaving a trace. This chapter is your guide to the renter's revolution, a collection of high-impact, low-risk upgrades that will make your apartment feel like your own, all without risking that precious security deposit. Let's start with the biggest canvas in any room, the walls. The no-paint clause is the most common and frustrating rule. But who needs paint when you have the magic of peel-and-stick wallpaper? This is the single greatest invention for renters in decades. It's temporary wallpaper that goes on like a giant sticker and, when it's time to move, peels off with no damage to the wall underneath. Use it to create a dramatic, show-stopping accent wall behind your sofa or your bed. The patterns and murals available are endless, allowing you to completely transform the mood of a room in a single afternoon. If wallpaper feels too ambitious, think about large-scale art. Instead of a gallery wall with dozens of nail holes, invest in one massive, oversized piece of art. A giant canvas or a large, beautifully framed poster can anchor an entire room, provide a powerful focal point, and cover a huge amount of that boring, white wall space. It's impactful, personal, and you only have to patch one or two holes when you leave. Next, let's talk about upgrading the generic fixtures that come standard in most rentals. These small changes have an outsized impact on making a space feel custom and luxurious. Let's start with lighting. That generic, flush-mount boob light in the center of your ceiling does nothing for your style. With a bit of confidence, and by making sure the power is turned off at the breaker, you can easily unscrew the old fixture, carefully store it in a labeled box, and install a stylish chandelier or modern pendant light in its place. When you move out, you simply reverse the process. It's the ultimate, take it with you, upgrade. The same principle applies to hardware. Swapping out the cheap, boring knobs and pulls on your kitchen and bathroom cabinets is a 10-minute job that instantly elevates the entire room. Just put the original hardware in a labeled plastic bag and keep it in a drawer so you can easily switch it back. You can even upgrade your light switch and outlet covers from basic plastic to something more sophisticated, like brass or matte black. It's a tiny detail that makes a world of difference. Now for those often unattractive rental floors and surfaces. If you're dealing with ugly, cracked linoleum in your kitchen or bathroom, look into removable floor tiles or peel-and-stick vinyl flooring. Modern versions are incredibly durable, often waterproof, and come in a huge variety of stylish patterns, from terrazzo to wood plank designs. They are designed to be laid over an existing floor and can be removed at the end of your lease. Of course, the simplest solution is a fabulous, oversized rug that covers the majority of the offending floor while adding color, texture, and softness. Are you stuck with dated or damaged countertops? Your secret weapon is high-quality contact paper. This isn't the flimsy stuff you remember from childhood. Modern peel-and-stick films come in hyper-realistic finishes like marble, concrete, or butcher block. With patience and a squeegee, you can give your kitchen countertops a complete facelift for very little money. The same technique can be used to cover the front of an old refrigerator or dishwasher, hiding scratches and creating a sleek, uniform look. Finally, let's address the windows. If your lease forbids you from drilling holes for a curtain rod, your best friend is a tension rod. These rods use spring tension to fit securely inside the window frame, allowing you to hang lightweight curtains or sheers to add softness and privacy without making a single hole. For even more privacy, especially on ground floor apartments, or to obscure a less than desirable view, removable window film is a brilliant solution. It clings to the glass using only static and water, peels off without a hint of residue, and comes in countless designs, from a simple frosted look to intricate patterns that mimic etched glass. With these clever, reversible tricks in your toolkit, a rental lease is no longer a barrier to creating a home you love. It's simply a prompt to think more creatively. We've now armed ourselves with the tools to customize our rental spaces. But there's one challenge that plagues every New Yorker, renter or owner: the constant battle for storage. In our next chapter, we will become masters of organization, exploring every clever hack and hidden opportunity to conquer clutter and create a place for everything. Your assignment is to pick one renter-friendly upgrade and try it this week. Swap out the knobs on your kitchen cabinets. Buy a roll of peel-and-stick wallpaper for a small accent wall. Or simply replace your generic showerhead with a spa-like model. Take one small step to reclaim your rental and make it truly feel like yours. Hello and welcome back. We have armed ourselves with the Renter's Revolutionary Toolkit, ready to personalize any space. Our home is stylish, comfortable, and deeply personal. But all of that beautiful design work can be instantly undone by one relentless enemy: clutter. A beautifully designed room with piles of stuff everywhere is no longer a beautifully designed room. This brings us to the final frontier of mastering the New York apartment. It's the invisible scaffolding that holds your entire design together. This chapter is dedicated to the art and science of storage. We are going to become masters of organization, exploring every clever hack and hidden opportunity to conquer clutter, not just for a week, but for good. Because in a small space, smart storage isn't just a nice idea, it is everything. Before you buy a single basket or bin, you must adopt a simple 3-step philosophy: edit, categorize, contain. First, and this is the most important step, you must edit ruthlessly. We touched on this in Chapter 1, but it bears repeating: you cannot organize clutter. The first step to creating storage is to have less stuff to store. Go through your belongings with a critical eye. If you don't use it, don't love it, or don't need it, it's time for it to leave your home. Be honest with yourself. This single act will make every subsequent step infinitely easier. Second, categorize logically. Once you're left with only the things you want to keep, group like items together. Don't just have a miscellaneous drawer. Put all batteries in one small box. All light bulbs in another. All your winter hats and gloves go together. All tech cables and chargers are grouped. This systematic approach is the foundation of a home where you can actually find things when you need them. Third, and only after you have edited and categorized, do you contain. This is where you find the right home for each category of items. And this is where organization meets design, choosing containers that are not only functional but also fit the aesthetic of your home. Now, let's go on a hunt for hidden storage opportunities. Your apartment has more space than you think. You just need to know where to look. Let's start under the bed. This is acres of prime real estate that cannot be wasted. If you don't have a bed frame with built-in drawers, use low-profile rolling bins or zippered fabric containers. This is the perfect spot for out-of-season clothing, extra linens, and shoes you don't wear often. Vacuum-sealed bags are a miracle for bulky items like duvets and winter coats, shrinking them down to a fraction of their size. Look under your sofa. If it has even a few inches of clearance, you can find slim storage boxes designed to slide right underneath. This is a brilliant spot for things like board games, photo albums, or your collection of magazines. Now, look up. The space between the top of your door frames and the ceiling is almost always empty. Installing a single high shelf in this forgotten zone, in a hallway, bedroom, or even a closet, gives you the perfect out-of-the-way spot for items you rarely need to access, like luggage, sentimental keepsakes, or archival documents. Next, let's master the closet, which is arguably the most valuable real estate in your entire apartment. The typical single rod and shelf that comes in most rentals is horribly inefficient. Your first move should be to install a closet doubler, an inexpensive second rod that hangs from the top one. This instantly doubles your hanging space for shirts, skirts, and folded trousers. Use the back of your closet door. An over-the-door shoe organizer with clear pockets is a miracle worker, and not just for shoes. Use it in your hall closet for cleaning supplies. Use it in your bedroom closet for scarves, belts, and accessories. Use it in the bathroom for toiletries and makeup. Inside the closet, go vertical. Instead of creating messy, toppling stacks of sweaters, use hanging fabric shelf organizers. Use slim, velvet-covered hangers. Not only do they prevent clothes from slipping off, but their slender profile allows you to fit significantly more clothing onto the rod compared to bulky plastic or wooden hangers. Use labeled bins on the high top shelf for categorized items, so you never have to pull down 5 boxes to find the one you're looking for. This think like a Tetris master mentality is crucial in the kitchen and bathroom as well. Inside your deep kitchen cabinets, use stackable wire shelves to create a second level of storage, so you don't have to unstack 6 plates to get to the bowl at the bottom. Use a Lazy Susan in a corner cabinet to make everything easily accessible. Under the sink, install a simple tension rod and hang your spray bottles from it by their triggers, freeing up the entire bottom surface for other supplies. And use drawer dividers for everything, from your silverware to your junk drawer to your makeup. They create calm out of chaos. Finally, to ensure all this hard work lasts, you must adopt one simple rule for your life: the one in, one out rule. To maintain your beautifully organized equilibrium, every time you bring a new item into your home, whether it's a new pair of jeans, a new book, or a new coffee mug, an old one in the same category must leave. This prevents the slow, creeping accumulation of clutter and makes organization an ongoing, manageable practice rather than a massive, annual project. Our home is now a model of efficiency and style. Everything has its place. In our next chapter, we'll focus on one of the most personal and impactful elements of New York style: curating and displaying art, from a single statement piece to the perfect gallery wall. Your assignment is to choose one storage trouble spot in your home: a messy drawer, a chaotic closet, or the cabinet under your sink. Edit it, categorize its contents, and find simple containers to bring it into order. Experience the deep satisfaction that comes from creating a small zone of perfect, effortless organization. Hello and welcome back. We have journeyed through every corner of our apartment, transforming it into a model of efficiency, comfort, and style. The layout is smart, the furniture is functional, the lighting sets the mood, and every last possession has its place. We have created the perfect canvas. Now, it's time for the final and most personal layer. It's time to make our walls talk. This chapter is all about art. In a city like New York, art is not a luxury reserved for museums and galleries. It is the lifeblood of the culture, and it's an essential element in any home that feels truly authentic. Art is the ultimate expression of your personality, your history, and your taste. It's what elevates a space from simply decorated to thoughtfully curated. First, we must debunk a major myth. The word art can be intimidating. It often conjures images of expensive, original paintings that feel out of reach. But for our purposes, let's broaden the definition. Art is anything you find beautiful, interesting, or meaningful that you want to put on your wall. It can be a traditional print from an artist you admire, but it can also be so much more. It can be a stunning photograph you took on a trip, professionally printed and enlarged. It can be a vintage map of a city you love. It can be a beautifully designed concert ticket from a memorable night, a page torn from a vintage book with a stunning illustration, or even a piece of beautiful fabric or wallpaper framed like a masterpiece. The only rule for the art in your home is this: you have to love it. It should not be chosen simply because it matches your sofa. It should be chosen because it sparks a memory, makes you smile, or starts a conversation. So, where do you find this affordable, personal art? The options are endless. Online print shops like Etsy are treasure troves of work from independent artists all over the world. Flea markets and thrift stores are fantastic sources for unique, one-of-a-kind paintings, prints, and frames that already have a rich history. Your own camera is a powerful tool. Don't underestimate how beautiful your personal photos can look when properly framed. Once you've started to collect a few pieces you love, the next step is learning the art of the hang. The way you display your art is just as important as the art itself. Let's start with scale. One of the biggest mistakes people make is hanging art that is too small for the wall. A tiny, lonely frame on a vast, empty wall will always look awkward and insignificant. When in doubt, go big. A single, oversized statement piece of art can completely anchor a room. It creates an instant focal point and, paradoxically, can make a small room feel larger by giving the eye a clear and confident place to rest. The general rule for hanging a single piece is to position it so that its center is at average eye level, which is about 57 to 60 inches from the floor. The quintessential New York way to display a collection of art is the gallery wall. This is a curated grouping of various pieces that reads as one large, cohesive statement. Creating a great gallery wall might look complicated, but there's a simple process. First, find a loose theme to unify your collection. This doesn't have to be rigid. Your theme could be a consistent color palette, like all black and white photographs. It could be a subject, like landscapes or portraits. Or your theme could simply be the frames themselves, all thin black frames, for example. Next, and this is the most important step, plan your layout on the floor first. Clear a space on your floor that's the same size as your wall space, and arrange and rearrange your framed pieces until you find a composition that feels balanced and dynamic. Keep the spacing between the frames relatively consistent, usually about 2 to 3 inches apart. Once you're happy with the layout, trace each frame onto craft paper or newspaper, cut out the templates, and tape them to the wall using painter's tape. This allows you to visualize the final arrangement and mark exactly where the nail for each piece goes, all without making a single mistake on your wall. If a full gallery wall isn't your style, there are other chic ways to display art. We've mentioned the picture ledge before, and it's a perfect, flexible solution. You can lean and layer frames of different sizes, and easily swap them out whenever the mood strikes. There is also the effortlessly cool look of leaning your art. A large, framed piece propped casually against the wall on the floor or resting on top of a console table or dresser gives a space a relaxed, studio-like vibe that is very New York. Art is the final punctuation on your home's design story. It's the last piece of the puzzle that makes the space entirely, uniquely yours. Don't be afraid to start your collection. Start small, by what you love, and your walls will begin to tell the rich and interesting story of your life. Our walls are now alive with our stories and our style. But a New York apartment, surrounded by concrete, often craves a connection to the natural world. In our next chapter, we'll explore how to bring the outside in, mastering the art of indoor plants to add life, color, and organic beauty to your urban sanctuary. Your assignment this week is to find and frame one new piece of art for your home. It doesn't have to be big or expensive. It could be a postcard, a photo from your phone, or a print you order online. Just choose something you love, put it in a frame, and give it a place of honor on your wall. Hello, and welcome back. We have journeyed so far together. Our apartment is now a masterpiece of personal style and efficiency. The layout is flawless, the storage is conquered, the textiles are cozy, and the walls are alive with our stories through the art we've chosen. It's a complete, beautiful picture. But now, it's time to add one final, crucial element. It's time to let it breathe. This chapter is all about bringing the outside world in. We're going to talk about mastering the art of the houseplant to create your own personal urban jungle. In a city of steel and concrete, a connection to the natural world isn't just a decorative choice. It's a vital part of creating a true sanctuary. Plants are the living, breathing soul of a New York apartment, adding a layer of organic beauty that nothing else can replicate. So why are plants so non-negotiable for city living? Aesthetically, their benefits are obvious. They add vibrant pops of green, introduce beautiful sculptural shapes, and provide a soft, organic texture that contrasts perfectly with the hard lines of a room. A tall plant can fill an awkward, empty corner with life. A trailing plant can cascade down a bookshelf, softening its edges. They are living decor, constantly growing and changing, adding a dynamic element to your home. But beyond their beauty, plants are a powerful tool for wellness. They are scientifically proven to reduce stress and boost your mood. They also act as natural air purifiers, filtering common household toxins. Caring for a plant is a simple, mindful ritual that can be incredibly grounding in a fast-paced world. The number one rule of incorporating plants into your home is this: right plant, right place. The most common mistake beginners make is buying a plant purely for its looks, without considering the environment it needs to survive. Your first step is to become a light detective in your own apartment. For a few days, pay attention to the light that comes through your windows. You can generally break it down into 3 categories. Bright, direct light is when the sun's rays are hitting a spot for several hours a day, usually near a south-facing or unobstructed west-facing window. Bright, indirect light is the most common and versatile type. It's a bright room, but the sun's rays aren't directly hitting the plant's leaves. This is typical of east-facing windows or spots a few feet away from a very sunny window. Finally, there's low light, found in rooms with north-facing windows or in corners far from any light source. Once you know your light, you can choose your plants. For those rare, sun-drenched windowsills with bright, direct light, you can grow sunlovers like aloe vera, most succulents and cacti, or a beautiful trailing string of pearls. For the much more common bright, indirect light, your options are vast. This is where most of the classic, iconic houseplants thrive. Think of the beautiful perforated leaves of a Monstera deliciosa, the elegant, if sometimes fussy, fiddle leaf fig, or the almost indestructible ZZ plant and pothose. And for those challenging low-light corners, do not despair. While you can't grow a cactus there, you have fantastic options. The snake plant, or Sansevieria, is the undisputed champion of low-light tolerance. The aforementioned ZZ plant and pothose also do remarkably well in lower light. These are the plants that allow you to have greenery in virtually any room. Next, be honest about your own lifestyle. Are you an attentive plant parent, or are you more forgetful? If you tend to forget to water, choose drought-tolerant plants like the snake plant, ZZ plant, or succulents. They would rather be too dry than too wet. If you love the ritual of watering, you can enjoy plants that like more consistent moisture, like ferns or calatheas. Once you have the right plant in the right place, it's time to style it. Think of your plants like sculptural objects. Group them in odd numbers, like a cluster of 3 on a tabletop, and vary their heights to create a more dynamic look. Use plant stands to elevate smaller plants off the floor. That empty corner that has been bothering you is the perfect home for one large, statement floor plant. This will have the same impact as a piece of furniture or a major work of art. Use trailing plants to your advantage. A golden pothose or a heartleaf philodendron placed on top of a tall bookshelf or in a hanging planter will send its beautiful vines cascading downward, adding a touch of romance and drawing the eye up and around the room. And remember, the pot is half the style. The plastic nursery pot your plant comes in is just temporary housing. Find a decorative planter that fits your personal style. You can slip the nursery pot directly into a beautiful ceramic pot, a woven basket for a bohemian touch, or a sleek metal planter on a stand for a mid-century modern look. This is yet another opportunity to layer in the color and texture we've been talking about throughout this series. Our home is now a feast for the eyes, alive with plants and personal style. But a truly immersive sanctuary engages all the senses. In our next chapter, we'll explore the invisible but powerful layers of design, creating a signature scent for your home and curating the perfect soundscape for every mood. Your assignment this week is to bring one new plant into your home. Start with something easy and forgiving, like a snake plant or a pothose. Find the right spot for it, give it a beautiful home in a decorative pot, and enjoy the new life it brings to your space. Hello, and welcome back. At this point in our journey, we have meticulously crafted a home that is a true feast for the eyes. The layout is intelligent, the furniture is functional, the walls tell our stories through art, and living plants breathe organic beauty into every corner. We have mastered the visual world. But a home that is a true, immersive sanctuary engages all of the senses. In this chapter, we are going to explore the most subtle, yet incredibly powerful layers of design, the invisible atmosphere created by scent and sound. These are the elements that you feel the moment you walk in the door. They can instantly set a mood, trigger a memory, and transform your beautifully decorated apartment into a space that feels good on a deep, emotional level. Let's begin with the power of scent. Our sense of smell is directly linked to the memory and emotion centers of our brain. It's why the scent of freshly baked cookies can transport you back to your childhood kitchen, or the smell of pine can evoke the feeling of a crisp winter holiday. By creating a signature scent for your home, you are creating a powerful sensory cue that says, "You are home, you can relax now." The goal is to find a scent that is a gentle background note, not an overwhelming perfume. It should be subtle enough that you almost don't notice it, but you would feel its absence. So, how do you choose? Think about the mood you want to create. For a calm and relaxing atmosphere, especially in the bedroom, look for notes of lavender, chamomile, sandalwood, or cedarwood. These are grounding, earthy scents that promote a sense of peace. For a space that feels clean, fresh, and uplifting, like a kitchen or living area, citrus scents like bergamot, grapefruit, or lemon are perfect. Notes of mint or eucalyptus can also create a bright, energizing feeling. And for that cozy, warm, and welcoming feeling, especially in the colder months, turn to scents like vanilla, amber, fig, or the spicy notes of cinnamon and clove. You don't have to stick to one scent for the entire apartment. You can practice what designers call scentscaping, using different but complementary fragrances in different zones. Perhaps that fresh citrus in the kitchen transitions to a warm sandalwood in the living room, and finally to calming lavender in the bedroom. There are many ways to deliver this scent. The classic choice is a beautiful candle. A high-quality candle provides not only a beautiful fragrance but also the warm, flickering glow of a flame, which adds instant ambience. Opt for candles made from natural waxes like soy or beeswax for a cleaner, longer burn. A more modern, flame-free option is an essential oil diffuser. This allows you to create your own custom scent blends and adds a touch of healthy humidity to the dry city air. For a truly low-maintenance solution, consider a reed diffuser. It provides a constant, subtle scent without any flame or electricity, making it perfect for an entryway or a bathroom. And don't forget natural sources. A pot of water simmering on the stove with citrus peels, a cinnamon stick, and a sprig of rosemary will make your entire home smell incredible. A simple vase with fresh eucalyptus can scent a bathroom for weeks. Now, let's tune into the second invisible layer, your home soundscape. Living in a city means constantly being surrounded by noise, sirens, traffic, construction. Controlling the sound inside your home is a powerful form of self-care. It's about consciously replacing that external chaos with an intentional and pleasing auditory environment. The foundation for a good soundscape is actually a degree of silence. All the textiles we've added, the rugs, the curtains, the upholstered furniture, the books on the shelves, do more than just look good. They absorb sound, reducing echo and creating a softer, calmer baseline. From that calm baseline, you can add your intentional layers of sound. A good quality smart speaker or Bluetooth speaker is an essential piece of modern home decor. Music is the most obvious tool here. Take the time to create different playlists for the different moments of your life. A playlist of upbeat but not jarring music for making coffee in the morning. A playlist of instrumental or classical music for when you need to focus and work from home. A playlist of calm, cool jazz or acoustic music to help you unwind in the evening. And of course, a playlist for entertaining that is lively and fun, but doesn't overpower conversation. But your soundscape can be more than just music. Having a favorite podcast or an audiobook playing while you're cooking or cleaning can make your home feel intellectually alive and engaging. On a stressful day, playing sounds of nature, like rainfall or ocean waves, can be incredibly meditative and calming. And for a truly special experience, consider the joy of analog sound. The resurgence of vinyl records is no accident. The physical ritual of selecting a record, placing it on the turntable, and dropping the needle is an intentional act. The warm, slightly crackling sound that comes from a record player is an experience that digital streaming can't quite replicate. It's a perfect, soulful addition to a thoughtfully curated New York home. Your home is now a complete sensory sanctuary, perfectly tuned to your personal taste. But a New York home is rarely just for one. In our next chapter, we'll learn how to share our beautiful space, mastering the art of entertaining in a small apartment with style and grace. Your assignment this week is to engage the invisible. Choose one signature scent for your main living space and introduce it with a candle or diffuser. Then, take 10 minutes to create one new playlist specifically designed to help you relax and unwind at the end of a long day. Notice how these unseen forces subtly shift the feeling of your home. Hello, and welcome back. Over the course of this series, we have meticulously transformed your apartment into a complete sensory sanctuary. It is functional, it is beautiful, it is organized, and it is a perfect reflection of you. It is your private retreat from the world. But a home, especially a New York home, is rarely just for one. A home is also a place for community, laughter, and connection. In this chapter, we learn how to share the beautiful space we've created. We are going to master the art of entertaining in a small apartment with style and grace. The thought of hosting a gathering in a compact space can be intimidating, but I promise you, it doesn't have to be. Entertaining like a New Yorker isn't about having a huge dining room or a gourmet kitchen. It's about being resourceful, creating an incredible atmosphere, and focusing on people over perfection. Let's begin with the preparation, which is the key to being a relaxed and present host. Your first step, about an hour before guests arrive, is to edit the room for a party. Just as we edited our possessions, we now need to edit the space for flow. Temporarily move any unnecessary clutter, like a stack of magazines or extra decorative objects on the coffee table. If a side chair blocks a major walkway, slide it against a wall for now. The goal is to maximize open floor space and make it easy for people to move and mingle. Next is your ambience checklist, which puts all our previous lessons into practice. First, lighting. Dim the main overhead lights way down, or turn them off completely. Rely on the warm, layered light from your floor lamps and table lamps. Light a few candles for that extra sparkle and glow. Second, scent. Light your signature candle or start your essential oil diffuser about 30 minutes before guests arrive, so a subtle, welcoming fragrance greets them at the door. Third, sound. Have your pre-made entertaining playlist going at a low, conversational volume before the first person arrives. This instantly kills any awkward silence and sets a relaxed, social mood. Now, let's talk about the furniture shuffle and creating flexible seating. In a small space, you have to pull from everywhere. This is where your multifunctional furniture truly shines. Your storage ottoman becomes prime seating. Your desk chair gets pulled into the living area. Your dining chairs can be scattered around. A sturdy stool, a stack of floor cushions, anything can be a seat. Don't worry about everything matching. An eclectic mix feels natural and resourceful. Arrange the seating to encourage conversation, creating small clusters rather than one large circle, which allows for more intimate chats. Equally important is creating landing zones. Guests need places to put down their drinks and small plates. Your coffee table, side tables, and console table are the obvious spots. But also, think creatively. A windowsill can be a perch for a wine glass. A sturdy, neat stack of large books can become a temporary side table. The more surfaces you can offer, the more comfortable your guests will be. Next, the food and drink strategy. A tiny kitchen is not the place to attempt a complicated, 5-course meal. The key is to keep it simple, delicious, and easy to eat. Focus on small bites and appetizers that can be eaten while standing and mingling. A beautiful cheese and charcuterie board is always a winner. Bruschetta, dips with crackers and vegetables, or anything on a skewer is perfect. If you want to serve something more substantial, a one-pot meal is your best friend. A big batch of chili, a hearty stew, or a delicious pasta can be made ahead of time and allows guests to easily serve themselves. This leads to the most important tip for the effortless host. Set up a self-serve drink station. This one move will free you up from playing bartender all night. Designate one area, a bar cart if you have one, or a section of your kitchen counter, as the bar. Set out everything your guests will need: an ice bucket, glasses, a wine opener, a selection of drinks, and a pitcher of water with lemon. This empowers your guests to help themselves and allows you to enjoy your own party. Finally, and most importantly, is the mindset of the host. The single biggest factor in a successful party is a relaxed and happy host. Do everything you can to be ready before the first guest arrives. Your goal is to be greeting people with a drink in your hand, not frantically chopping vegetables. And please, do not apologize for the size of your space. Embrace the coziness. A smaller apartment packed with friends, music, and laughter has an incredible, vibrant energy that a vast, empty room can never replicate. Your guests won't remember the square footage. They will remember the fantastic atmosphere, the great conversation, and how welcome you made them feel. You have now mastered every aspect of creating and sharing a beautiful New York-style home. Your space is a reflection of you, a sanctuary, and a place for community. In our final chapter, we'll bring it all together, discussing how to maintain your beautiful space and evolve your style over time, ensuring your home continues to tell your story for years to come. Your assignment this week is to be brave and plan a small gathering. It doesn't have to be a big party. Invite 2 or 3 friends over for a glass of wine and some cheese. Practice setting the ambience, arranging your space, and most importantly, enjoying the wonderful home you've created with the people you care about. Hello, and welcome back for our final chapter. For the past 14 chapters, we have been on an incredible journey together. We started with a simple idea and transformed it into a reality. We've taken an empty space and turned it into a functional, beautiful, and deeply personal home. Congratulations! You now possess the toolkit and, more importantly, the mindset to create a sanctuary that not only looks like a New Yorker's apartment but functions like one. It is resourceful, stylish, and tells your unique story. But a home is not a static project that you can finish and walk away from. It's not a museum. It is a living, breathing space that is the backdrop to your life. So, in our concluding chapter, we're going to talk about how to live in the masterpiece you've created, how to maintain its beauty, and how to allow it to evolve and grow right alongside you. Let's first talk about the art of maintenance. The sense of calm and order you feel in your newly designed space is precious, and the key to preserving it is to understand that maintenance is a practice, not a project. It's not about doing a massive, exhausting cleaning session every Sunday. It's about small, consistent habits. Adopt the daily tidy ritual. It takes just 10 to 15 minutes at the end of the day. Put the stray papers back in their folder. Fluff the pillows on the sofa. Wipe down the kitchen counters. Put the book back on the shelf. These tiny acts of order are a form of respect for your home and for yourself. They prevent the slow creep of clutter and ensure that you always wake up to a space that feels calm and ready for a new day. To protect your home from future clutter, you must become the gatekeeper. Recommit to the one-in, one-out rule we discussed in our chapter on storage. When you buy a new sweater, an old one gets donated. When a new mug enters the kitchen, another one leaves. This simple rule is the single most powerful tool for maintaining the beautiful, curated balance you have worked so hard to achieve. To keep your space from feeling stagnant, consider a small seasonal refresh. This doesn't mean a complete redecoration. It's about small swaps that align your home with the feeling of the season. In the spring, you might swap out your heavy wool throw for a lightweight linen one and change your dark, moody candle for a fresh, floral scent. In the autumn, you might change your pillow covers to a warmer color palette and bring in some fall foliage. These simple changes keep your space feeling dynamic and responsive to the world outside. This brings us to our final and most important idea, the evolving home. Your home should be a living diary of your life. As you grow, travel, learn, and love, your home should evolve to reflect that. The goal is not to freeze your apartment in its current state of perfection, but to allow it to gracefully incorporate your life's journey. When you come back from a trip with a beautiful piece of pottery, or you pick up a new piece of art that speaks to you, don't just add it to a cluttered surface. Be intentional. Find a place of honor for it. This might mean you need to edit something else out to make space, but that is the essence of curation. It's a constant, thoughtful process of choosing what to display. As you move through your life, resist the pull of fleeting, fast fashion home trends. A true New York home is timeless because it is built on a foundation of classic pieces and personal taste, not what's popular for 5 minutes. Before buying into a major trend, ask yourself, does this genuinely reflect my story, or am I just being influenced? Will I still love this in 5 years? You can always play with trends in small, inexpensive ways, like a trendy colored pillow or a vase, but your core pieces should be timeless. And finally, know that the principles you've learned in this series are not a one-time checklist. They are a toolkit you can use forever. When your life changes, you get a new job that lets you work from home, a partner moves in, you pick up a new space-consuming hobby, you may need to rethink your layout. Don't panic. You know how to do this. You can go back to the beginning, assess your new needs, rezone your space, and adapt. You have done more than just decorate an apartment. You have learned to see the potential in constraints. You have learned to blend function with beauty, to layer texture and light, and to create an atmosphere that is uniquely yours. You've learned to tell your story not with words, but with the very objects and spaces you live in every day. Your home is now your sanctuary, your creative studio, and your stage for connection. Nurture it, enjoy it, share it, and allow it to be the ever-evolving canvas of your incredible life. Thank you for joining me on this journey.